All right, we are live. Welcome everyone to this episode of Productive Environment Podcast. Today, our topic is the intentional project. The intentional project. One step today that makes life better tomorrow. All right. So welcome. We're glad you guys are here. We all have that. I want you guys to think about this, and I want some participation. So if you're watching us in a place where you're able to add a comment, whether you're on Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube, and you can add a comment, we want to know, do you have a project? You know, we all have that one project we've been putting off, right? So what is yours? In this episode of PEPTalk, Barbara and I are going to reveal how to take the first intentional step so you can create momentum and move forward using a simple system that you can apply right away. So I know I've got projects I've been putting off. Barbara, you've said for years, clutter is postponed decisions. Those projects fit in that category, right? We have projects that are piling up that we want to get to, but we don't. They become clutter in our lives as well. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Barbara, at this point, and then we'll have a conversation about this.
You need to introduce yourself, Andrea.
Oh, I did it again. Hey guys, I just feel like everybody knows us now, but you know what? If you're watching us for the first time, you don't know. I am Andrea Anderson, CEO of Productive Environment Institute. I am in Carolina Beach, North Carolina, and I'm joined by...
I'm Barbara Hemphill, founder of Productive Environment Institute in Raleigh, North Carolina. And this is a good example of why we call each other peanut butter and jelly. We need each other.
Amen.
So let me start with a question that I have asked thousands of people literally over the years in speaking engagements and individual conversations. If you were to leave this earth tonight, what regret or regrets would you have? It's a powerful question because it forces you to think about the projects you've postponed, the conversations you've avoided, or the spaces you've left in disarray. And often those are the very things that actually matter most to us and to the people who love you. That's what today's conversation is about. It has that word intentional in it, which is one of my favorite words because intention just is so powerful.
Yeah. And even the name of our company, Productive Environment Institute, Barbara, you defined years ago what a productive environment is. It's an intentional setting that where everyone can accomplish their work and enjoy their lives. I say it different times,
and you know what I love to add to that? It's where you can accomplish your work and enjoy your life and enable others to do the same. So yeah. It isn't just a gift to you, it's a gift to everyone around you.
Yeah, exactly. And it may not be the environment that it's probably the environment that you accomplish your work. It may not be the environment that you enjoy your life, but it enables you to. Having a productive environment enables you to accomplish your work and enjoy your life. And so the word intentional is a very big deal to us at Productive Environment Institute. So we want to share that with you.
And so is the word environment, right? Because environment can be anywhere. Environment can be your clothes closet. That's the environment you see first thing you get up in the morning. It's your office. It's your kitchen if you're trying to make breakfast. It's your desk. It's your computer. But you know, the environment that probably impacts us the most of all is the environment in our brain. It's what we're thinking about ourselves and our ability.
Yeah, absolutely. So today, as I mentioned, we are talking about intentional projects, the ones we've been putting off, but that could make life better tomorrow at home and in business. So maybe it's something that if you did it, it would improve someone else's life later on, somebody that you care about, whether it's in your family or a business partner or someone else. And sometimes when we say project, sometimes it's as small as clearing a shelf or a box, right? You could have a box of something that you just look at that box and you're like, oh, I really need to go through that box, but you keep putting it off. It could be clearing a shelf in a closet. And sometimes it's as big as mending a relationship or finishing a business idea. And Barbara's going to talk to you a little bit about that. So whatever it looks like, the key is choosing one project and taking the first step. So that's exactly what we're going to explore together today. So Barbara, back to you.
Well, I was first introduced to that question several years ago by a gentleman. And when he asked me the question, what's the one thing if you left this earth tonight? My immediate thought was my relationship with my daughter, one of my daughters. I didn't have a bad relationship. I just didn't have a relationship. And she lived far away. I'd made some efforts, but it really hadn't worked. And I made the comment to the person who asked me, well, there's really nothing I can do about it. I've done everything I know to do. And he looked at me and said, that's not true. There's always something else you can do. So I thought about it and realized that was true. And this is where the word intentional comes in, because I said, okay, that was in January when we had that discussion. And I said, if I haven't developed a relationship, a healthier, maybe not healthy, but healthier relationship or a connection with her by Mother's Day, I am literally going to get on an airplane, fly to her door, and go show up on her doorstep. Well, I'm happy to say that now we have a conversation every Sunday because of that intentional decision. And I used our 5-step process that we're going to talk about later today.
That's awesome. So you turned a family dynamic, you turned a situation into a project, and you set a deadline for yourself, right? Of a certain action you were going to take if something didn't happen by a particular deadline. So that's a part of it. So that's pretty amazing. So as we said, a project can be tangible, a closet, a desk, a box. It can be relational, a conversation, a habit of connection, which you just said. I mean, you guys talk every Sunday now. That's a habit of connection. So that's really beautiful. Or professional, like somebody, if you're a business owner on here, a project could be finishing a proposal. Maybe you've got a big potential client out there and you've just got to finish a proposal to them. Or it could be launching a new course or launching a new program. That's a project, right? And maybe you're putting it off because you just don't know what the next step is. And so you're overwhelmed or you're just thinking about it. But the common thread that we see when we do take action on a project is once we start, sometimes it's just that start. Once you start, the weight lifts and the momentum builds. So I think that's a really key point that we want to talk about today, that we're not talking about starting and finishing a project, because a project could take years. It could take, depending on how big, I mean, hopefully, or decluttering a box isn't going to take you years, but it could be a bigger project. But what we're talking about today is starting, just starting somewhere, right? And Barbara, I wanted to bring back, we had talked last week on our last PEPTalk podcast about your client, Carol, and she had a project that had been weighing on her for years. It was something she wanted to do for her family. And I'll let you describe what that is again. And then let's do an update on her, because that was a very specific time-bound, time-limited project that, I mean, it sounds to me like she obviously did all the physical work. You didn't go to her office. You didn't even meet with her on Zoom. I mean, you literally had a conversation with her. She did the work. All she needed was help getting started.
Well,
and then the connection in between, the accountability. I know that's an important part. But my point with that is just that started the process, and then you kept in touch with her. So yeah, go ahead.
Well, and what often prevents us from starting, I mean, probably always prevents us, is seeming that it's too big a project. It's right. Just an overwhelming project. So the question we ask in PEI all the time is, I mean, I'll say to clients, you're going to get sick of hearing me ask this question, but I'm going to ask it over. What's the next action? and it can be very tiny. And then if you've been on our podcast often, you've heard me talk about how important it is to celebrate that connection. So this project, Carol is a musician. And when I asked her the question, what was the one regret she would have if she left this earth tonight? And she said that I hadn't created the chord book and the recordings for the songs that I've composed. Well, I'm a musician, so that just really touched my heart. And so we decided that she would work on it using our 5-step process. And just last night, I got this text from her. I just squeaked in my 14th song before sunset in a few minutes. This is what my tracking project looked like. Pink is done. I'm celebrating with my sister who didn't have a clue I was working on this until I shared your recent video about my journey. She was in tears as she knows how much I have struggled over the years to get this done. And there's an important point in there too, that often the regret is something related to someone we love, someone that we care about. Or the other thing, I just had a conversation with a woman yesterday and asked her that question. And her answer, which is an answer, Andrea, we've heard this dozens of times, is I'm leaving a mess for my children. And in Carol's case, the reason she wanted to record these songs is because her children and grandchildren wanted them. So there she is. That's the draft cover of her first book. I mean, what a legacy she's leaving. And it's so exciting. She's just done such an amazing job. And I know that it's an impetus for other people to think of projects that they've been procrastinating about that they can accomplish.
My favorite part of the story is that she said she sent us a message, or sent you a message last week, that she didn't know we were going to talk about her on our podcast. And we never mentioned her last name. We just said her name was Carol. And we have several clients named Carol. And she said that she had settled into, I think she was, settling in for the night, and just popped up YouTube to watch a video. And I think she was going to take a bubble bath and she was going to watch a video, on YouTube. And our video popped up and she was like, oh, this is interesting. The topic, the title was just about project planning or something. And then she's like, and then she's listening. She's like, that sounds like me. So she realized we were actually talking about her. And she's been so great in letting us share. Like, she sent the pictures and just has been letting us share her story, because I think it's just so good. And so that was a big project that she had been putting off for years. You helped her by asking that question. She was able to identify that project. So that's one of the things we want you guys to think about. You probably have a lot of projects that you could potentially do. So ask that question that Barbara asked. If you were to leave this earth tonight, what regret or regrets would you have? And if something comes up, something that you wanted to do and didn't do, haven't done yet, maybe that's a project that you can take on. And we have an opportunity I'm going to share with you towards the end about how you can do that with us, because it is difficult to do alone sometimes. They just pile up and it's difficult to start. One project I want to mention that I've been wanting to do and had been wanting to do for a while. My mom's on here. Mom, I'm going to put you on screen for a quick second, so make sure you smile. There she is. So my mom loves to read out loud. She's always read books and stories to us. And, even to this day, she'll read something that she found of interest. And so last year I had this idea. I wanted to get her reading a children's book that she and I both love. It's called The Sign of the Seahorse. And I said, I want to get my mom on video reading that, for future, I've got nieces and nephews and she's got grandkids, And so so last December, I recorded her reading the entire book. And so now it is part of a project I've delegated, passed it on to Eds, who's on our team, and she's putting that project together. That's going to be a video that we can send to people, to our, and Ed's son has already, he's our proofreader, he's our critiquer, and he's already in the Philippines reading the book and listening to mom, and so but that is, I'm going to take you off now, Mom, so you can relax. But that is a project that I just had to take immediate action. I had been thinking about it for a while, and I probably overcomplicated it because I can do that sometimes. But that particular trip home, I said, I'm gonna record her today. Didn't have a plan of exactly what to do afterwards. I said, I just want to record her reading it, and we did it. And so that project is in process now. So
and I see
yeah.
Cannery's on our call today, and his 4 sons, they will be so excited to see this. So I can't wait till it's done so that we can
they
share.
will love that. Let me share a couple other videos, but that is wonderful, Barbara. I think Tony's one of our specialists. I think that is when you were talking about your relationship with your daughter and your conversations with her. And then Kathy, who's also one of our specialists, says, I always have more interest than time to follow through. Amen to that. We know that. And then Tony says, I just committed to revisit my email stack method with CPS Kathy Music. Yeah, together we are better. That's right. That's a great project. And then Tony says, great idea for the book project. Yeah. I mean, that was just, I can't wait for you guys. You guys will get to see it too. And so with Ed's, she had sent me pictures of her son, listening to the video, watching and listening to the video and hearing the story. So I was able to jump on Amazon and sent him a book, sent him the book, the sign, so he could physically hold it while mom was reading. Anyway, something like that. I would have, to answer your question, Barbara, what regrets would I have? That if I had not done that, that would have been a regret that I had. And so even at the stage that it's in now, it's not finished yet, but even at the stage it's in now, I'm grateful that I did do it, and it will be finished soon. So you guys will see it very soon.
Well, and I think, an important factor in there, Andrea, is that you made that step. It's like, okay, you said, I'm going to record. So as opposed to, I don't know if I had the right microphone and I didn't bring the right clothes and I don't have my nails painted or,
I could have had a zillion excuses, but I was like, we're doing it. I think I had just gotten my iPad and I bought some little microphones. So I wanted to test that. I mean, her dog walked through at some point and it didn't matter. It's like, it doesn't matter. It's my mom sitting on her couch reading this children's book and showing the pictures. And it's such a great book. It's such a great story. Adults love it too, guys. So you guys will get to see it. We'll share. But yeah, just starting that project. So of course I have other projects. I do have a box in a storage room. I have a small storage room in my condo and I have a box that I need to go through. That is a project also. So anyway, we want you guys to start thinking about a project that may be big or small. It doesn't matter. It's what you want to do. And Barbara, if you want to walk them through what we do, what we teach in every organizing project, decluttering project, systemizing project, we teach something called the 5-step productive environment process. And Barbara, if you will walk us through that in relation to choosing a project and going through, starting it and going through the project, and then we can talk some more.
So just pick one. And actually, this is what happened with Carol. We had one phone call at the beginning where we went over this project and we identified the first 3 steps of this process. So step 1 is state your vision. So we identified, what would that look like? How would you feel if it were done? Well, how would you know that it were done? What would you be able to do that you can't do now? So getting clear, and the more you can make that come alive, so you could just feel the joy. Like Andrea, when you were talking about the reading of your mom, your face just lit up, and it's like, because it was really special to you. So that state your vision. Proverbs says, without a vision, the peoples perish. And often we do perish, or we certainly don't do as well as we could if we were able to do that. Secondly, then, was identify your obstacles. So what have you tried in the past that didn't work? Or what are you afraid of that might prevent it from working? Carol had a real challenge because she was living a mobile lifestyle at that time in 2 different places. So that was an obstacle that we had to work over, but she did it beautifully. So obstacles, what might prevent you? What are your fears? And fear is a huge, for all change, fear is huge. And then number 3 is commit your resources. So it's focusing on what you do have. She talked about, she had a portable keyboard, for example, was one of her resources. Resources are often other people. Tony mentioned that she was going to be working with Kathy. It's like a resource is someone else that can help you. And one of the things we talk about in Productive Environment Institute all the time is that asking for help is not a sign of weakness, it's wisdom. We were created as the body of Christ, I like to put it, and we were created to work together. And I know for myself, there are things that by myself I hate doing. But when I can do it with someone else, it suddenly becomes joy. And the most dramatic example I have of that, I remember decades ago, I was working with an astrophysicist in Virginia in his garage, cleaning out boxes of files. And he was laughing. And I'll remember him looking at me and saying, if anybody would have ever told me I would be laughing while I was cleaning out these boxes of files, I would have said they were crazy. So the first 3 steps: state your vision, identify your obstacles, commit your resources. And then that leads to step 4. On the farm, my daddy used to use the phrase where the rubber meets the road. And that's what step 4 is: design and execute your plan. In order to reach this vision, overcoming these obstacles with these resources, here's the plan. So Carol and I on that first call made a plan. What's your next action? And then our agreement was that she would tell me when that action was done, and then I would give her the next action. And that's what happened. So we just texted each other, and it wasn't frequently. Sometimes it was once a week, once every 2 weeks, but it was enough to keep her moving forward. Then step 5 is the critical component, which is sustain your success. Now, notice the common word in all 5 of those steps is your. That's why we say organizing and productivity is an art. There are no shoulds in it. It is what will you do and what do you want to do? Not what somebody else thinks you want to do, but what you feel God created you to do, what's important for you. And no plan works perfectly the first time. I mean, that's not anything I ever deal with.
Nope.
If somebody else doesn't sabotage it, I sabotage it. You know? Step 5 is, okay, if it's not working, everything that you say, think, or feel about that project is in one of those first 4 steps. So a good example for mine, years ago, Andrea was very involved in this. I'd always wanted to ride horseback ever since I was a child. And so I made an appointment with a friend and I started taking horseback riding lessons. I ended up falling, breaking my collarbone, but I got back on again. And then the person I was riding with, their horse was injured. And so he didn't have a second horse. So I wanted to continue. So I went to a stable and I was riding in the stable and I made a comment to the trainer. I said, I've always loved horses since I was a child. And she said to me, loving horses is not the same as loving horseback riding. And that was a huge aha because I was kind of struggling. I wasn't enjoying the horseback riding the way I had previously. And then I realized it was because part of the enjoyment in my vision was spending time with my friend. And so it was like, it was deepening the relationship with my friend that made that worth it. And I didn't have a desire to develop a relationship with a trainer. I mean, she's 40 years younger than I. We don't have anything in common. And so I wrote her a physical note afterwards and said, thank you so much for saying that, because my vision changed. I mean, that was a vision I had to become a horseback rider. But then I realized, no, I didn't really want to become a horseback rider. But when I went to Ocala, Florida to visit my cousin, it's the largest equestrian center in the US. And I had a ball going there and seeing it. So your vision changes, your obstacles change, your resources change, and sustain your success is about everything that you say, think, or feel about those projects fits in one of those 5 steps.
Amen. And we were talking about everything being perfect. And Kathy said, but perfect wouldn't be real. And talking about my mom with the book, the dog walking through, et cetera, is what adds to the humanity of it all. Exactly. So that's the other thing. And we've done podcasts about perfectionism. If we wait for everything to be perfect to start the project, then we're never going to start. So I hope, that you guys are thinking of something that you've really been putting off, that it would make a difference, not only in your life today, but in someone else's life down the road. Like I said, it could be clearing the clutter, Barbara, like you mentioned, so that your children don't have to deal with it later. Making those decisions now or giving them permission to make decisions later. just, so again, just, doing something today that can impact tomorrow. So I want you guys to be thinking about that. And we also know, as Barbara mentioned, that it is not easy to work alone a lot of times. And so having the community and having the connection where we're all working on something together makes such a huge difference. So I want to announce on this video, and we'll put the details in the description in YouTube. So make sure you find your way to our YouTube channel to this video. We are having an event. We've had, let's see, in the past, we've had workshops. We've had Paper Palooza, where we were dealing with our paper and decluttering paper and going through things. Then we had a Picture Palooza. So guess what? Can you guys guess what this one is going to be? This one's going to be the Intentional Project Workshop, also known as Project Palooza. Project Palooza. So
I didn't even know that, but I'm not surprised.
That's right. Project Palooza. So the let's see, the more professional name is the Intentional Project Workshop, aka Project Palooza. So depending on when you're watching this video, we are having this workshop on September the 27th of 2025. That will be the live workshop. So we would love for you guys to join in. If you are part of our community already and you receive emails from us, then you will get notified about this. You'll get some information about it, how to sign up for it. If you are new to our channel, and it doesn't matter when you're watching this video, if you're new to our channel, go to lesscluttermorelife.com and you can get on our list, and that will make sure that you get the invitation to this and future workshops. So it's early September right now. So you've got time to make sure you get on our list, and we will post information about that. So lesscluttermorelife.com. And again, the workshop, Project Palooza. And what we're going to do, we're actually going to open up a private space before the workshop. We will have a private space in our Productive Environment Network where you will hear from Barbara and me before the workshop. Okay. We want to help set the stage. We want to help you choose what project you're going to work on. So there's going to be some pre-workshop tasks for you to do. And then that way we can save time during the workshop. We're all going to work on our own project. We're going to do some introductory things and do a little bit of teaching at the beginning. But we're really going to take action. That workshop is not going to be a 3-hour of us on Zoom talking, us teaching or lecturing or anything. We're actually going to be taking action and working on a project. Okay. So like I said, if you're overwhelmed with clutter and you've got clutter in your workspace, your office, your dining room table, wherever your workspace is, maybe that's your project, is just to declutter the stuff. Maybe that's what you take on as your project for that day for us together. Or if you've already done that and then you want to do some other things, maybe I know we have one client who's been in our SOAR program for a while, and she decluttered her office. She put in our productive environment finding system. She has her SOAR board, systemize and organize with action and reference. It's a tool that we teach. She had everything in place. She's done all the work. She had everything in place. But she said, you know what? I have a closet and there's some shelves and there's some boxes in that closet that I haven't gone through yet. So that's her next project. So depending on where you are in the process, that can be your project. And it doesn't even have to be a decluttering project. It could be something you've been putting off, reaching out to someone, starting a course, program, or working on marketing, whatever it is. It does not matter. But we can help you kick it off, help you get it started during our workshop together. So we're excited about that. And anything else you want to add, Barbara, before we wrap up for today?
If you have a number of projects for the purposes of the event, just pick one. Yeah. Whatever you learn from that one will carry over into the others, because our whole company has been based on those 4 words: clutter is postponed decisions. And even deciding which project to do can keep you from making process. So now you've got some time, pick that one project and work on it. And maybe it'll be like my horseback riding. Maybe you'll do it and then you'll say, hey, you know what? I don't think I want to do that. And think how much lighter you'll feel. You won't feel burdened because, oh, I thought I should do that. it's perfectly okay to say, you know what, I've changed my mind. And so we really look forward to having you. We'll lift each other. We'll have so much, we always have fun together. So don't miss this opportunity. And you can think about with the end of the year, what's one thing I would like to accomplish before the end of this year? And then we can come up with a specific plan so that when you come to the new year of 26, you will have something really to celebrate.
That's right. That's right. Because if we're doing the workshop at the end of September, you could have an idea. I mean, you don't have to necessarily complete the project during that 3 hours. You've got October, November, December. You could say, I want to have my project complete by December 31st, 2025. So, or even at the end of next year, that part doesn't matter. So anyway, the Intentional Project Workshop, aka Project Palooza, is coming up. So make sure that you are subscribed to our channel, that you like this video and share this video. If you can share this video with a friend and they want to participate in Project Palooza together, then you've got a built-in accountability partner as well, in addition to us. So we're excited about that. And one last comment, and we're going to wrap up. Project Palooza, great idea and a great opportunity. Together we are better. Amen. That's right. Thank you so much, Tony. Thank you all for being here, and we will see you on our next Pep Talk Productive Environment podcast.